Welcome into the Thunder basketball universe. We are coming to you live from the Thunder Ion, which always means we have somebody special joining us. And today we have Ajay Mitchell joining us on the podcast today, the rookie for the Oklahoma City Thunder. AJ, first of all, how are you feeling? Thanks for joining us after practice today. I know it's been a crazy stretch, but how are you feeling so far?
Feeling good.
Good.
Feeling good. Yeah, I got some rest yesterday, so ready to roll now.
Good.
Yeah, last 14 days, you guys had 7 games in 7 different cities on both coasts.
2 countries.
2 countries. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much more you can add up to it. Even the home game was kind of like an away game because you're here and then you're gone. You probably didn't even unpack. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I didn't unpack. I had my stuff packed for 2 weeks almost. So it was a long stretch. It was my first actual NBA stretch. So I was kind of excited to get into it, and it was a great experience. Obviously, it's hard, but it's a great experience.
What are you learning as a rookie about just life on the road and making sure that you're ready and recovered for those sort of games when you guys are moving as much as you are?
Yeah, I think just making sure I'm staying on top of everything, making sure I'm getting enough sleep, making sure I'm getting the recovery I need, and then just knowing that it's going to be hard, but everybody feels that way. So just keep pushing through it and be ready.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about packing earlier, and it might sound like a light, fluffy thing, but it's actually something that you guys have to think about. Players have told me over the past that, adjusting from what we were talking about before the podcast about a Thursday, Saturday schedule to a 4 games a week schedule is a totally different deal of, having to live your life. How did you kind of figure out some of that stuff over the first few weeks of the season?
I think kind of figure out on my own, just being proactive. Like you say, packing is already a big thing to do. So just making sure I'm ready to pack for a while. And then also just getting help from my family. My mom helps me for that, my sister. So just asking them too, okay, if I'm leaving for this amount of time, what should I pack? And then just them telling me you should pack this. So they helped me a lot for that.
I have to imagine it was also pretty tricky packing for that Toronto-New Orleans trip, just because you go north to Toronto where it's probably going to be sleeting and snow. I mean, it was sleeting when we landed off that plane. And then you go to New Orleans and it's muggy and a little bit warmer. That had to have been a tricky one. That was tricky
different.
for me.
I packed for the Toronto trip.
Okay.
I packed heavy, made sure I had everything I needed. So when we were in New Orleans, I was like, I don't need all that stuff, but it was good. Good to have everything.
Well, you guys took care of business on the road during that stretch. I mean, 6 out of 7. Yeah, I mean, it was a really great stretch for you guys because you took care of business on both ends of the floor. It felt like you were turning teams over like crazy, holding teams to below 100 points multiple times. How did you guys feel in those games, and how much do you feel like you guys were kind of on brand throughout that stretch?
We felt in a great groove, and I think for us, just knowing that those stretches are going to happen during the season, that we have to be ready to repeat that and do the same thing. So I think it was a great stretch for us, and I think we've learned a lot from it. And I think for us is just, okay, how can we get better for what's next and just focus on that.
It seems like there's so much teaching that is able to go on in a shoot-around or a practice, and that you guys as a team are able to absorb a ton. As a rookie, I'm sure a lot is coming at you, but what's your sense of just how much you all can take on mentally as a group?
Man, I mean, it's awesome. I think all the coaches, they love to teach the game. And I think as players, we're really we love to learn. And I think, even for me, just learning from the coaches, obviously, but then learning from the other guys, the older guys that have been there for years and know the game, it's been awesome for me to see both ways, seeing learning from the coaches, but then learning from the players. And for me, it's all experience. I'm really grateful to have that.
You have a pretty cool role just because in that second unit, you pretty much get to kind of lead the offense and start things going. How much have you learned in that specific element of your game when it comes to just kind of leading an NBA offense?
I think for me is just, obviously getting used to the NBA pace. I think on both ends of the floor, just being in the right spot at the right time, and then just being confident. I think that's been the biggest thing. Just going out there and knowing what I'm capable of and just playing at my highest abilities. Not being worried about anything else but playing hard. So I think that's been really, really fun to do. Just going out there and not worried about anything but playing hard. and then try to get better every time you step on the court. So it's been an awesome experience.
It's really cool because what you just said there is, pretty classic and, on brand. It also rings so true just watching you play. I mean, you see so many rookies that come in and sometimes they're hung up on where they got drafted and what that might mean about what they should be getting or what they shouldn't be getting or, where they're at, their status. And you're out there. Like, it doesn't matter. Once you kind of get into these Thunder walls, it seems like whatever happened before, it doesn't matter. It's like you're completely present in the moment.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that's something that for me was really important all through like high school and college. I feel like every time I step on the court is just not worrying about anything else but being the best player I can be. And then there's going to be nights where you're off, but like you control what you can control. I think that's one of the biggest advice I've got from a lot of people. And just going out there, controlling my energy, controlling what I can do on defense. And then the shots are going to fall. Some nights they're not going to fall. So not being worried about misses, not being worried about playing time, just being happy to be in this position. I mean, for me, I'm in the NBA. It's an awesome position. So taking whatever I have and just like doing the best I can.
Well, speaking of the defense, I'm glad you brought that up because in Toronto, you guys were all over the floor, it felt like. And in that game, you had 3 steals. And I feel like on the defensive end, there's a lot of scrap to your game, and we're seeing that a lot. How much of that is stuff that is, contagious energy from this group, and how much of that is something that you're just kind of leaning into now that you're in the league?
I think a lot of it is just contagious energy. I think we have a lot of scrappy guys and guys that love to play defense. So when you're out there, you're like I love this too. Like seeing them like going for every loose ball, every steal, like everyone wants to do it. And I think for me it's just, learning from guys like Lou, Alex Caruso, Kaysen, like those great defenders, just learning from them, seeing how they do it. And then it's pretty easy to get steals when you have guys that are already scrappy and you just have to like grab the ball. So it's fun. It's fun.
That defensive tenacity has led to some amazing starts and some pretty dominant blowout wins, but was also really essential on that road trip on the West Coast. The win at Golden State, the win at the Lakers. What do you remember about being out there on the floor in some of those pretty tense moments in those games, going toe-to-toe with Hall of Fame caliber players?
Yeah, I think, it's about being really, like having a lot of force, I think, and being really sharp in everything you do. I think I've learned that a lot, especially when you play against really good teams, just being sharp in everything you do. And then, especially on the road, I think our defense is going to take us to a win most of the time because it's never easy to win on the road, no matter what the game is in the NBA. Even in college, it's hard to win on the road. So I think when we're locked in on defense and do what we have to do, offense will take care of itself. And we just got to, just like I said, get better every time we can and then learn from every mistake we do. But knowing that if we're solid on defense and we do what we're supposed to do, like we'll control the rest, like we'll be good.
I want to touch on one more thing from that trip specifically. You'll have plenty of those where you go from San Francisco to LA over the course of your career. I know that you went to college kind of midway between there at UCSB. It was a strange trip. It was Thanksgiving between those 2 days. I know you got to see some of your old UCSB teammates. Will you tell me like who you got to see, what you all did? I know there wasn't a ton of time, but like there's a little special moment sometimes when you're on the road to see people.
No, it was great. I went, so on Thanksgiving Day, I went to my coach's house. He was hosting like a little Thanksgiving dinner with most of the guys. So I got to see a lot of my old teammates, a lot of the coaches that were there. And it was just awesome just to be back around the guys and just being able to talk to them, talk about my experience and then them talking about this year, how it's going. So it was really awesome just to see the people there.
That's so special. I'm sure they're all really proud of you and what you're able to accomplish so far in the league. Let's look forward a little bit, AJ, because the next game for you guys tomorrow, taking on the Dallas Mavericks, and this is a different game because it's the Emirates NBA Cup quarterfinal matchup. You guys advanced out of your group, and now you've reached the knockout round. What's the energy, what's the mindset going into this game tomorrow, knowing it's a little bit different than typical regular season games?
Yeah, it is a little different, but I think our mentality is the same. Every game we play, we just want to win, and we're not worried about anything else but winning. So I think going into this game, definitely the atmosphere is going to be a little different. It'll be a little special, but for us, it's just focusing on the game plan and then getting out there, getting a win.
just as you think about a game plan, and you may not have gone over Dallas completely, but you have played them once before. What are some key things that you see in that matchup, just given obviously the headline talent, but all the different ways that they can hurt you as a team?
I mean, I think it's a very good team. Dallas is a really good team. We played them, saw what they're about, and I think for us is just learning from that game, the mistakes we've made, and just adjusting. But also, I think in this stretch we got better as a team. Yeah. So I think moving forward is just being ready for that game, and like I said, just treat it like another game that we want to win, and not worried about if it's the NBA Cup or not. Just going out there, being strong with the ball, being strong on offense, defense, and just go out there and get a win. There's
a lot of newness and uncertainty that's been thrown your way already as a rookie. Is this one even weirder, that depending on whether you guys win or lose, you may be flying somewhere later that week, you may be staying home? There's a lot that's still up in the air about what your next 7 to 10 days looks like.
Yeah, we really don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, we're planning for a win, so we're planning to leave pretty soon. But I think, those are unpredictable things. It's the NBA, so everything's a little unpredictable.
Got to be ready for anything. Just for you personally, I mean, you're 23 games into this NBA season, your very first NBA season. Coach Daignault has praised your maturity and just your poise throughout all of this and your professionalism. How, personally for you, how do you feel like you felt yourself grow over this stretch? I mean, knowing that you came in and, you're a rookie, you go through summer league, I'm sure it felt like a lot has been coming at you throughout all of this. But how do you feel, I guess, 25% of the way through the season now?
I feel pretty good. I think, obviously it's different because I was talking with someone and they were like, you almost played like a college season right now. So I was like, that's kind of crazy. But I think I got used to it pretty quick. I think for me, the biggest thing was just recovery. I think being ready physically and then mentally. I think that's the biggest adjustment for me, was just every night being ready to go out there and compete. And I think that's something that you kind of develop throughout the weeks, months, and I think I've adjusted pretty good, and I feel really good, honestly. Had some times where I was like, man, I'm tired. But,
that's fair.
But then you get through it, and you're like, you fight through it, and you kind of learn a lot from yourself too, just knowing that you're able to do those things. So I think it was really good for me to go through that.
I just know that one of your UCSB teammates had to ask you an off-the-wall question, or about something that really surprised you. What did you get asked, and what was your answer?
I think the biggest question probably would be who have you seen courtside at the games? And then I was like, oh man, because I don't really pay that much attention, but
you're locked
when
in.
Someone's there, you're like, okay. So I was like, LA, Floyd was there, and I was like, that's kind of crazy. And then some guys are football fans, so Cooper Kupp was there, and then obviously Toronto when Drake was there, I was like, I saw Drake, whatever. So but that's always their question, is every time they know we have a game in a big city or whatever, they're like, let me know who's going to be courtside. So it's pretty funny.
So many special moments, and it's been really special to see you grow throughout this season. AJ, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. We appreciate it. All right, that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Be sure to rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much to AJ Mitchell and our producer, Matt Bishop. And until next time, Thunder up, and catch you later.